Early signing period is not officially over yet, but we do have the biggest winners and losers, and we'll do a video on the studs, the duds, who impressed, who has to work the transfer portal in their favor. But I would be remiss if we did not do a video simply discussing what the hell happened at Auburn yesterday. Let's talk about the Tigers impressing when it comes to early signing period. If you are new here, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. So if this is the type of content you enjoy, plus anything going on with coaching searches, the transfer portal, bowl eligibility status, and a bunch of other nonsense, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. Leave a comment telling me your thoughts on the future of the Tigers on the plains underneath Hugh Freeze. Tell your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, best of bros, college football aficionados, and Auburn fans everywhere about this channel, because we've already surpassed 1,000 subscribers. Thank you in advance for that. But now it's on to 5,000, then 25,000, then 50,000, and 100,000. And ladies and gentlemen, I think you know that we're going to get there. So jump on in while the water is fine. Continue to follow me on social media. I call it Twitter. You can call it X. I don't really care what Elon calls it. At Mr. Cole Thompson, the exact same as my YouTube handle. That way, the conversation of college football never has to stop flowing. Auburn. Can we just say that like out loud a few times? Like it's like calling Beetlejuice's name, because of what they did yesterday was beyond impressive. If Ole Miss is sponsoring the transfer portal, Auburn is sponsoring Flipmas, because that's everything that happened yesterday on the plains. They literally went into the week knowing that they were going to have a shot at landing premier talent. They knew that they were going to finish with at least a top 15, maybe a top 10 recruiting class if they were able to get one or two players. Nay. Hugh Freeze doubled down and said, you know what? I'm going to make sure hell freezes over in the SEC, because I am landing these kids. Look at the top four names. It started by getting an elite wide receiver, probably the best wide receiver in the state of Alabama, Cam Coleman. Expected to go to Texas A&M. They let go of Jimbo Fisher. Demir Craig, the wide receivers coach, is also gone. And Auburn, they perish and they feast and they land him. And so he is now committed to the school, and that's a great game changer. Then you go get Perry Thompson. Perry Thompson from Foley, Alabama, 6'3", was expected to go to Alabama. He was expected to go to Titletown, be a part of the dynasty with Nick Saban. Now he's going to go to the Plains instead and make his own stories and write a different chapter in his book. Another solidified pass catcher to fortify your offense. Not to mention, keep going down the list. How about a guy like DeMarcus Riddick? Everyone remember him? Just from Cliftontown, Alabama. He was going to go to Georgia. Not anymore. Staying home in the Yellowhammer State. And then probably the biggest surprise of all, Amaris Williams and Joseph Phillips. Amaris Williams going to Florida all the way up until the very last second. This kid, defensive lineman, going to fortify your trenches. He's going to Alabama. I mean, he's going to Auburn. Auburn just literally took the entire transfer portal and said, we don't need you this year. We're going to add in some names. We're going to get some key players. And don't worry, they will. You know that they are. The Plains are always going to add in premier talent. But we're going to go ahead and build something promising. And this is just validation that hiring Hugh Freeze was the right move. I know many people, whether that be SEC fans, Alabama fans, Auburn fans in general, they were less than thrilled that Hugh Freeze was getting a second shot in the SEC. Why go after this guy? Why? Well, number one, proven winner, proven track record. Look at what he did at Ole Miss before Lane Kiffin stepped foot in Oxford. Number two, the ability to build a roster with lesser talent and transcend it. Look at what he did with Liberty. And number three, recruiting bases all across the Southeast region. You realize that if you want to be successful alongside the Alabamas and the Georgias and the LSUs of the world, you got to win in the South. You got to be able to add in premier defensive linemen from Florida and from Georgia and from Mississippi and Louisiana and parts of Texas. And definitely you can even throw in Tennessee for that matter. And you're watching as Michigan is starting to go down south, and you're watching as Ohio State's coming this way, and Florida State is now being a bigger player, Miami, Clemson, all these schools that we talk about being the premier programs in college football are headed south. And Auburn's saying, we're going to keep them here. We're going to keep them in the state. We're going to keep them in our general location. And the only way that you get that is by hiring a guy like Hugh Freeze. That's why the hire is perfect. That's why this was always the first move that should have been made by Auburn. And whether or not you want to say Brian Harsin got a bad shake, I think he actually is a pretty good coach. I knew he was never going to be able to be successful in the SEC. It just doesn't happen for those who don't understand the prowess and the persona and what is the spectacle that comes on Saturdays. Hugh Freeze gets that. And Hugh Freeze also knows how to develop offensive talent and how to recruit it. And that's exactly what he did. Plus, you look at other names that they were able to add in, guys like Javante Walker flipping from Florida at the last second, Walker White from Arkansas coming over as a 4-star quarterback, Joseph Phillips, DeAndre Carter, Malcolm Simmons. They got dudes, they got studs, and they got players that are going to be able to build something promising. This is about as big as a win as you can get for Auburn. They literally did everything possible and got better because of it. They took kids from schools like Georgia and Florida and Alabama. NIL is flowing through those universities. The resources found on campus are second to none. But those of you who don't understand the SEC would also forget Auburn has it too. There's a reason why Auburn is always viewed as a program that could be something that it isn't. Because they have everything on campus. They have the resources. They have a great stadium. They have an exceptional athletic facility. And they also have great talent residing all around their area. They're in West Alabama, or what we would like to call, East Alabama, or what we would like to call in the state of Alabama, West Georgia, for those of you that hate on the Tigers. They live in that vicinity. They have everything at their disposal. And what did Hugh Freeze do? He said, I know that we went 6-6. That's it. That's the done final time, nail in the coffin. We're not sticking around and putting up with this crap much longer. We know what we can be. We know what we want to be. And I know what I'm here to do. And so Auburn, they may not be a 8-4 team in 2025. They may not be a 10-2 team. But make no mistake, Hugh Freeze knows how to develop talent. He knows how to recruit talent. He knows how to find talent. So long as you have that, you get the right coaches in the building, guys like Philip Montgomery, who I think that we all can trust, guys who can come in via the portal and be immediate day one contributors, you got something. You got something promising. Not going to say that Auburn absolutely is ready to take over the SEC in a brand new version that features 16 programs and no divisions, but they are going to improve, and they are going to be a team to watch for in 2025 and beyond. Make no mistake, Hugh Freeze is making sure hell freezes over. Not his time at Auburn. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.